So this week, my wife and kids and I went to see Inside Out 2, which is blowing up. If you haven't noticed or haven't heard, this is the biggest movie opening weekend since Barbie. We know how big that was. Inside Out 2 is just killing it, and I'm not exactly sure why. I don't remember how big the first one was in the theater, but for this to be such a breakout film, I was really surprised by that. But after seeing it, I get it, man. Now, let me just start out by saying I was a really big fan of the first film. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was such a creative premise. I love the idea of having these emotions, these feelings, have autonomy. I thought it was a really cool concept and such a heartwarming, heart-wrenching, tough and enjoyable watch to watch this child go through all of these emotions. And I feel like sequels a lot of times just try to double down on everything, whereas this one really did seem like a fitting continuation of the story. Of course you would do the story of new emotions moving into the picture with puberty. The introduction of puberty is going to bring on all new sets of feelings that you never felt before. And I think they pulled it off in glorious fashion. I think that, again, so creative with the emotions that they brought in. Anxiety, right? Which was basically like the main antagonist / star of the film. Anxiety and joy were like the two main characters, right? And then everyone else kind of felt like side characters. But anxiety comes in and just runs the show, just takes over, right? And you've got these other embarrassment, these are perfect emotions to introduce for a young preteen / teenager. The girl in the film is turning 13. She's got new feelings about her self-worth and her status, where she fits into her peer group and where she wants to fit in. And it's, oh man, it just, I don't know, because I'm not a girl, so I didn't go through quite the same things, but I think this movie works for boys and girls, because it doesn't delve into really specific male or female emotional circumstances for young teens, right? It's very generalized, like anxiety, embarrassment, what was it? Not envy. Maybe it was envy. Oh man, they just did so good in choosing the emotions that they would introduce, and the way they interacted with the other emotions, and how the old emotions, the core emotions, felt like they were being pushed out. Joy, sadness, they felt like they were being pushed out. And I think that it taught an overall great lesson of kind of like, you need all of these emotions, even these new ones that come along when you're a teenager and try to take over, right? They try to take over your entire life, but eventually you find a way to balance them out and use anxiety to your benefit, not let it run your life. I thought it was so good. And just the story that played out with the three girls, best friends, going off to hockey camp, knowing that they weren't going to be together the next year. Like, these are very common themes in growing up. A lot of times your friends don't end up going to the same high school or to the same middle school or play on the same team as you. And it's like crushing, and you got to decide, what do you do? What's my life going to look like now? How am I going to fit in without my friends? Like, where do I fit in now? How do I make new friends? It was a wonderful follow-up. In fact, I think it might even be better than the first film. But the first film was groundbreaking, right? It was very unique in its creativity. Like I had never seen a movie do that, where you take the emotions, give them their own consciousness, identities, and have them play out inside of a human being while looking out at the outside world. So great. And some of the funniest parts for me, as many lessons and just kind of truths that are expressed in this film, there's also some comedy. And some of the best comedy is when you peer into the minds of the parents or other people in the story. I love it, especially you go into the dads, and he's like, oh man, the final scene with the dad at the end. If you haven't seen the film, go see it. You'll see what I'm talking about. I love when they peer into the mom's mind and get her emotions, and then the same thing with the dad. And then, oh man, I loved when the nostalgia emotion is introduced. I won't say too much in case you haven't seen it, but nostalgia, that definitely struck a chord with me. I like Mr. Nostalgia. So, yeah. I absolutely love the film. Highly recommend it. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll definitely enjoy the second one. My wife loved it. She said it was, the best thing she's seen in a long time. All my kids enjoyed it. Just a great film all around. And I know Disney hasn't been knocking it out of the park in some things lately, but this feels right on track with the Disney that I know and love. So go check it out. Really, really enjoyable, heartfelt film. If you enjoy stuff like this where I talk about entertainment and pop culture, please subscribe to the channel or favorite and follow Daily BS Podcast, and stick around because that's what I do here. Not only entertainment about culture, but also book reviews, TV series, movies, all kinds of things. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to the channel, stick around, like the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on Inside Out 2 in the comments below, or you can reach out to me on Instagram, X, TikTok, at RealBrettScott. And if you do decide to stick around and subscribe to the channel, I'll talk to you all again real soon. Thanks.